everybody, welcome to Boss Rush Podcast. I am your gyro guru, Mr. Eddie V. Joining me, as always, is the Wisconsin cheese. No. Mr. Jesse Douglas.
Cheese.
What's all this change? I don't like it.
And the Disney deliciousness, Mr. Corey Dish.
Mr. Corey Disney.
That'd be awesome.
Dude, so Jesse, I was telling Corey on Power Block that all last week I've been getting like 400 plus orders, pictures from people, and all I've been getting is all Disney related. All Disney pictures. And it's just like, oh, you guys went to Disney too before they shut it down.
Yeah.
It was like a whole bunch, like a family reunion or something. I'm like, wow.
Yeah, but I had family that was at Disney actually while Corey was. So it was funny because I was getting pictures of them at Disney while at the same time Corey had stuff going on in Disney. So.
Oh, nice. How'd you guys doing today? How are we doing this quarantine? Do this downtime stuff? Like, how are you guys making it through?
It's day one for me. It's I haven't showered today. I feel like I'm living the quarantine life. By next week I'm gonna just kind of this big bushy beard and not shaved and ratty t-shirt and I don't know.
I am here for the beard.
No, I'm fine. I'm just prepping for some stuff that we kind of talked about earlier, Ed, and Jesse's going to join us on Monday morning, so that'll be fun. And yeah, good times, new things, good times. How's it going?
Yeah,
good.
Yeah,
I'm ready to get a haircut. Like my hair is just
it's just
all
growing
over the place. Yeah, and I need to get it cut, but there's not really anywhere to go to do that right now. So. And I don't really want to shave it off.
There's so many people who've been buzz cutting it and doing a beard like at home, and they because they can't go nowhere to get it done or something. It's just
people are learning some new skills.
Yeah,
pretty much.
Well, I went to go donate plasma the other day, and one of the girls, the nurse, she's not a nurse, she's a phlebotomist. She shaved her head off.
Wow.
And she could pull it off. It looked good. But it's just a lot of things being done differently, and it's interesting. There's talk of my hours being cut, but we're trying to figure something out because there's some loophole. There's some loopholes that we could take advantage of where I might technically only be working so many hours at my job, but if I'm doing stuff at the church or at the cemetery, that would be considered a different place or something. I don't know, but yeah, so it's just weird times. Because now the school is actually going to close for 3 weeks, so I'm going to be doing stripping and waxing floors though, so I'll still have stuff to do.
He said stripping. I'm like, whoa,
stripping and waxing. Yes, you gotta strip the wax off and put new stuff on.
New episode of Box After Dark.
Dark, right?
Stripping and waxing.
Which needs to happen because all parties are free. We just got to plan one.
Well, everybody, before we get on, let's get on some housekeeping. You guys can follow us on Twitter at BossRush Games, and on Facebook and Instagram at Boss Rush Games. Join our Discord, Xbox console community, and our Destiny clan. Also, live shows have returned, or as you guys are seeing this, join us live on Mixer and Twitch at Boss Rush Games Live, all one word, to chat with us live on air. You can also find all of our content on BossRushGames.com. Pod and Play Revamp, our seasonal Let's Play show, is almost coming to a close, everybody. You can go to BossRushGames.com Saturdays and check out games like Devil May Cry 5. We still got to get out the Resident Evil 2 remake one out, and Spec Ops the Line, Monster Hunter, and more. You can tweet us what games you want to see in the upcoming seasons. We will be getting to our season finale game for this, so we cannot wait to show you guys and have that discussion. It's going to be a blast. Lastly, Arsenal X is live and on podcast services Wednesdays. Join us on Sunday Night Arsenal for the pre-show, the live podcast recording, and some multiplayer Xbox fun on Mixer and Twitch. Also, remember to check out our family of shows, podcasts, and videos on youtube.com/BossRushGames, podcast services, and of course on BossRushGames.com. If you guys have not checked out Nintendo Power Block for this week, we did announce a winner for the Animal Crossing giveaway. So do check out that episode. You can check it out on Apple, on podcasts, and other iTunes show. The video will be coming soon. And we also have a new giveaway for episode 195. Can't tell you what it is, but you have got to go check it out to find out what you can win in that giveaway. And then stick around, because episode 200 of Power Block, you're not going to be ready for it. You can prepare, but you will not see what is coming. So with that, everybody, we are going to get into some news bits. We're switching it a little bit this week. We're going to get to the news bits before we get to our gaming get down, because the PlayStation 5 controller is revealed. We won't talk much on it. It's called the DualSense. It's white, black, in the middle of it where the touch part is at is blue. They spaced out more of the share in the option button, but it kind of resembles a mixture of Animal Crossing, of a Xbox controller and a PlayStation controller in a sense, and like kind of put together to make this design. And then people have been making custom designs of what that controller would look like with this kind of system. Some have been cool, some have been kind of weirded out and stuff. But people are already custom making controllers on how it looked like. There was an Overwatch one that was kind of cool. I'm like, oh, that was nice, but it looks like a more expensive Stadia controller. That's what it looked like.
The Spider-Man one looked really good. There's a Spider-Man one that looked pretty cool.
Yeah. So that got released. People talked about it. Just quickly, what were your guys' reactions to it?
For me, it's a controller, right? Like, I mean, you always want a cool looking controller. Like, I think the Xbox controller definitely looks better, but at the same time, like, actually my first reaction to it was I thought it was a joke, to be honest with you, because like a two-toned kind of shiny controller like that, like it kind of has that glisten the way that the Wii U Pro controllers had, like that shiny plasticky feel, and I'm like, this looks like a third-party Mad Catz Turbo controller for PlayStation
3. That's exactly what I was gonna say. Is it just looks like something that Mad Catz made, but like it just looks like a toy. It doesn't look like a professionally made, first-party controller.
Like, I understand if that was something like if they did something like Xbox Design Labs, like that would be something that, like a controller that somebody would design themselves, because they're like, oh yeah, this is gonna be cool, and then you get it and you're like, I'm super disappointed. But I like, for me, it looks like they looked at the Wii U controller and thought that was a good idea, except they moved the sticks to the bottom and the D-pad and the buttons to the top. Like, that was my second reaction. And then I'm like, Look, at the end of the day, it's a controller. I'm sure they're going to have black ones, red ones, blue ones, green ones. No, all the way that controllers come out these days are just like all kinds of colors. Which, by the way, where are our custom Switch controllers? We haven't had one since the Smash Brothers one. So,
because I was wondering if they was going to do Xenoblade Chronicles. I mean, definitive one.
Yeah, but I mean, they already did two. But anyways, like I feel like that this is I think that they have this tells me that the console's probably going to be like two-toned or at least white with some black accents and probably blue lights again, similar to PS4. But that shell looks like that top part can be replaced by any color they want, and I'm sure there's going to be about 10,000 colors of PlayStation 4 or PlayStation 5 controllers, and that's just like this controller looks like it was designed in a way to make alternate colors cheaper because they don't have to make a whole shell. They just need to make that top piece. But I mean, as long as it plays God of War 5 and Horizon 2 and something else that's interesting on PlayStation, then I'll get it at some point. It's ugly though. I think it's really ugly.
Well, and like you said though, I think you might be onto something. I think it's very possible that maybe Sony is trying to step into that that arena of having their own design lab where you can have a controller that's set up in a way that it can have pieces to it that can be different colors. Yeah. That can be, you can order your own version of how you want the colors to be mixed, kind of like what Xbox is doing. Now, they definitely could have did the design a little bit better, where it looks a little bit sleeker. Like Xbox kind of perfected that, like having the all the different parts that you can choose and pick colors for and stuff. But like you said, and we had kind of talked about this in the chat the other day, I plan on hopefully getting a PS5 eventually, and it is what it is. Like, as long as it works, like I said, as long as it's functional. Yeah. Like, I honestly, I don't care, because really at the end of the day, most of my games and third-party games are going to be played on my Xbox anyways.
Yeah, I mean, my PlayStation and my Switch are the exclusive machines, right? Like, I play a lot of stuff on Switch when I have to, because obviously everybody has their own reasons, but like a majority of my game time, my third-party stuff's going to be played on Xbox, like you said, Jesse, and like my PlayStation is an exclusive machine pretty much solely at this point. So, but I do like the PlayStation 4 controller a lot. Like, I think it's comfortable. I think it's got enough heft to it. Like, it feels good in your hands. Like, the only thing I don't like about it is that it doesn't have staggered sticks, but I mean, that's just PlayStation. And like, I'm like, why would you go and change, like this controller is almost perfect. Like, why would you go and make something like this? It reminds me of the Boomerang controller a little bit, honestly.
Yeah, where I feel like I love the PlayStation 5 controller. I would take that over the PlayStation 4 controller, because I have certain problems with the PlayStation 4 controller. Sometimes when I'm playing a game,
it doesn't work on Switch. That's its problem with
it. No, I got the Pro controller that works perfectly fine. The problem, I think, is just like sometimes when you're trying to hit the option button, you'll hit the pad and it will mess up the game or something. And so I was just like having like pausing issues and trying to hit certain buttons with it. And I was just like, I couldn't play Destiny 2 with this controller. It felt very uncomfortable. So of course I had to play it on Xbox One, and I'm just like, okay, the Xbox One controller feels very much comfortable than PlayStation 4. This one looks like it's going to be more comfortable to play games with. And
they moved the option and the create button further away from that, didn't they? The pad.
they spread it out more because
Yeah.
it looks more. The PlayStation 5 controller looks more refined, and I told Corey, so Jesse, hold on to your butt about this. I told Corey that I kind of could prefer this controller over the Xbox controller, and the only reason I said that is because Xbox needs to stop using batteries. It is time for them to put a battery. They have. I was telling Corey, I'm just like, you have all this money for technology, but you don't have money to have a battery system into your controller just to be charged. Nintendo
Just
is
buy a rechargeable battery pack.
He already had this argument with me,
Yeah.
and I just listened to him use them, but it's just not that big of a deal.
Dude, it's not that big of a deal at all. I hate this argument because like once that battery dies inside the PlayStation controller or your Switch controller, you have to buy a new controller.
Yeah, but while it's alive, you can continue to play your game.
And I told Ed that the Joy-Cons don't last long enough to get to that point of having to replace the battery.
But I'm talking about I'm talking about the power of recharging it. My thing, I was just saying that my thing is that if you have the money to get all this technology into your system, why you can't spend enough money to get a battery that you could just plug in on a USB-C with your system, take it off and charge and play your game? Why do you have to pay more to get that comfort of continue to play your games?
Because they want to bring the controller down to like a reasonable price.
They're not. They're charging $60 like PlayStation and Nintendo are.
The Switch controller $75. What are you talking about? It's $10 cheaper.
I mean, for the Pro controller, that's the Pro controller.
The Pro controller is $75, and the Joy-Cons are $80.
Well, yeah.
That's more.
It's one thing like the Pro controller, the Xbox Pro controller has a built-in battery, but you're also paying a premium for that.
But that's the Elite controller. I'm just talking about the basic controller.
That's why it's cheaper.
But I'm talking about.
Dude, the Xbox controller is $40 on Amazon right now.
I'm talking about Series X. When they bring out their controller, you still need batteries. So when Series X comes out, I can almost
guarantee you that the new PlayStation controllers are going to be more than what the old ones were, and the Xbox controller is going to be the same price.
The PlayStation 4 or the PlayStation 5 controller is going to be more because their controllers go up $10 every generation. Plus, they have all the that microphone built into it. They have the VR stuff built into it. They have more advanced 6-axis stuff built into it. They have the haptic feedback triggers.
You don't have, but then you don't have to buy extra batteries for that to charge and play.
Dude, a pack of batteries is so cheap. It's cheaper than the $20 you're gonna have to pay.
Well, and honestly, you can pay in if you really care that much about it. Mm-hmm. I know you've been against it, but I've had no issues buying the Xbox brand battery pack that you can just put in and then charge it. And
I've had mine since. Every time I get a new controller, I just get a new one. I have
I've
3 of them, I think.
Since I got the first Xbox, basically, when they first came out.
Mine's went effective maybe a month after using it because it's not, and I wasn't playing it. I wasn't playing my Xbox One that much. I kept it in good condition. I used the cord that came with it, and it just died on me. It just wouldn't do what it needed to do.
Now imagine if that was stuck inside of the controller. Now you had to buy a new controller. It's the same exact thing. It's just built in.
If it was stuck inside of the controller, I think that Microsoft would have addressed that and brought out new controllers.
Well, Sony is bringing out they didn't change their batteries in their old ones, and they're waiting until now because there are people who've had issues with the batteries not holding a charge in the controllers.
Because some people,
and now you could fix that by just taking batteries out and getting new ones instead of now having to wait for a new controller.
Because some people were disappointed that they were still doing batteries. People were just like, why are we still doing this?
And those people, they can be upset. They have every right to be, but I really don't think it's that big of an issue, but people like to make it one.
I think I'm making yeah. I think I'm making it an issue. Is because my thing is that you have money to put into the system, and it feels like you didn't want to spend no money and just putting a battery in a controller to make an ease of convenience, because all of that ramps up if parents definitely are not buying rechargeable batteries or stuff like that, or going out to buy batteries for the system. Buying most stores, you can barely find a Microsoft rechargeable battery pack. So most people will have to order it for that, and that's just add extra cost to getting the system. But that's all I was just saying. That was the only thing that I have preferred over the PlayStation 5 over the Series X controllers. It's the battery thing. That's all I was saying. That's
the like, and back to the PS4 controller. My only thing, obviously, the stick placement. I've never liked it, but I don't really care for their trigger buttons either. How they're like kind of just feel like this like flap that kind of hangs off the back of it
at the top.
Well, yeah, well, the back one, like the L and R2 or whatever buttons.
Well, that's what I said. Yeah, being at the top.
Like, yeah, how they hang off in the back, and there's like nothing behind them or whatever. I'm not really a fan of that. It just feels so cheapy, like fragile, like it would easily break. But I don't know. I don't really. I've played PS4, and it works fine. Their controllers work fine. Like I've never had to put them to like a major test where I'm playing it a lot, so I wouldn't know about how well they hold up. But
bottom line, everybody, just get a Switch Pro controller and play Switch.
Or just get the thing that allows you to play any controller on any console, and then you can just play
that. I'm going to be surprised if that's not going to be like a. I feel like these companies should make two different styles of controllers and let people choose. I feel like if you want like a DualShock 5, you should be able to buy one that, or whatever this thing's called. If you want a PlayStation 5 controller, you should be able to choose one with staggered sticks or parallel sticks. Like, I think you should be able to do that. I don't think it should you know what I mean? Like, I feel like each company should be able to have that. They have the resources to do that. I don't see why you just shouldn't be able to do that,
Even if it was just something that you did in like in design labs where you could choose where you want the stick.
Because sometimes when I'm playing platformers and stuff and I'm using the D-pad, I like the D-pad to be straight across from the buttons, right? But like if I'm like, that's why I like the Wii U Pro controller, because the sticks were both up high, and it sucked when you were trying to play like Call of Duty on the Wii U. Like, I mean, not that anybody was playing Call of Duty on the Wii U besides me and Ed, but like it worked really well with platformers, and I just think like you should be able to choose like how you want it,
like it's the what are you comfortable with when playing the game. If you feel like shooters are best played with like a Xbox controller, just the way that it looks, Xbox One controller, the way that it looks. If you feel like that's more comfortable for you to play, and you get that same experience with the PlayStation controller, and you prefer to play that way, make that option. Or if you feel comfortable playing games with the analog and the camera stick being right across each other, if you prefer that, give them the option to pay it. Hopefully they don't get. Hopefully the marketing for that won't be it will confuse the consumer. I'm like, the people who are buying should know by now what they're getting.
Yeah. So I don't know. The controller's ugly though. So.
Well, we're gonna move on.
Yeah. We're not gonna talk much about this. So let's move on.
Dead Island 2 might not be dead after. This is coming from Game Informer. The off-delay, always mysterious Dead Island 2 might still be coming if a new job listing at developer Dambuster Studios is any indication. The position is for an art director to work on a recreation of Los Angeles and create the sun-soaked backdrop to a full-scale zombie apocalypse set across the iconic Californian city for the next installment in the world-renowned Dead Island franchise. The listing also references creating a title for current and future platforms, potential hinting at a question release for the game. And then they kind of talked about it. It was announced that Dambuster Studios, which took over development on Homefront: The Revolution, when Crytek suffered financial woes and this relationship with Deep Silver went downhill, will be taking over Dead Island 2 as well. So you can read all about that about the game, because I know it. Like I said, the game went on hiatus, and then I guess now
stay there.
Yeah,
So-
honestly.
I can't believe this. I can't believe this game just isn't dead yet. Just
Yeah.
go away. Nobody cares anymore. Honestly,
yeah.
sorry, nobody cares about this game anymore.
Yeah, Dead Rising would be. I'd rather have a new Dead Rising game than, because I just don't. Yeah, I played the first Dead Island and it was enjoyable for a couple of months, but I got sick of it really quick.
I feel like that game or that team. I mean, the original team's doing Dying Light and Dying Light 2. So I mean, I feel like that's the direction that this series went, and people who are fans of that first game went there because they knew, right? And this brand doesn't have enough name recognition to hold its own in a some sort of franchise or whatever. It just doesn't. So why even bother at this point? There's enough mediocre zombie games out there, So
I always wondered, did Dead Island feel like the game lied to people in the sense from the trailer?
I don't
It
know.
was a beautiful trailer.
The first one?
Yeah, that the trailer was really beautiful. Then you see the game, you just like, what
It
the
was a
world is
CG
this?
trailer. I mean, what do you want?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, the original game, looks wise and stuff, really wasn't that bad. For the time,
It looked like a B tier
was
zombie
fine.
game. So, yeah.
So, we're gonna get into our last story, and
Trailer was
for
cool,
anyone
though.
who's interested, Google Stadia is allowing for their Pro editions to be played for free for 2 months.
Awesome. What games
but-
are they offering for free?
So they are allowing free games: Grid, Destiny 2, The Collection, Dumper, Guild, Serious Sam Collection, Splittings, Stack on Stacks on Stacks, SteamWorld Dig 2, and SteamWorld Quest. But it's worth noting that this isn't the free tier for Stadia that Google has promised us last year. Rather, Stadia Pro is Google's paid service that normally costs $9.99 a month and includes a selection of free games as well as the highest quality streams. And at this time, they still haven't updated if you're going to get 4K to 60 frames per second and stuff like that. But if you are interested, it's live for you to try for 2 months if you want to do some of their game streaming service.
Awesome. That's good news. All those free games they're offering.
I would just say if you have a console or even PC, just play some free stuff on there. If you have Game Pass Ultimate, go play it on PC.
Now if you have a PlayStation or an Xbox, both of them you can stream to your phone. So,
Well, not Xbox yet. I'm still waiting on my email.
well, PlayStation you can. I think PlayStation they just have it open to everyone to use.
For
What,
PlayStation,
PlayStation now? I don't know if it's available on mobile, actually.
No. Where you can stream
remote
your
play?
console.
Remote
Play. You can stream your console to your,
They do.
whatever. So
They do, but it's not good.
well,
It's
it's
480p
still
and 12 frames.
it's
a
still
second.
probably still as good as Stadia. So, but it's
Fair.
free.
Fair point,
I-
Jesse. Fair point.
So, I mean,
Well, Google
So
Stadia
if-
Pro is also free now for 2 months with all those free games they're giving.
Yeah.
did they ever fill the orders of the back orders that they promised people?
I don't
Did
know.
they ever fill?
I haven't been keeping up with Stadia. I've expected Google to kill it by now, so I don't know. I do like
know
their
that-
controllers, though. I like
Yeah.
the look of their controllers. Maybe Sony should have taken notes. Maybe Sony will just buy all the Access Google Stadia controllers
Ooh.
when Google fails, and they'll just be like,
Wow, the shade.
Well, I could see Sony teaming up with them because like at some point, like that would be funny. They're just like, well, if you can't beat your competition, you might as well join.
yeah. I mean, it would have been smarter for Google to team up with somebody. Like to like either PlayStation, like to team up with PlayStation to have a better cloud streaming service, or I mean, I know Sony bought Gaikai, and that's why they're being so stubborn about PlayStation Now and stuff. But like, it would have been such a better idea for Google to team up with someone, even Valve and Steam, like to import your Steam library in there and have like a clean streaming situation for your Steam games,
Yeah. Well, I wonder where did Google go wrong? Did they go wrong?
They made a game console thing. That's where they went wrong. Nobody cares.
They just obviously didn't do enough planning and taking care of these kinds of things before launching.
And they didn't have
I think that's their major problem.
They didn't have a first-party killer app either, which is I mean, that's why Xbox made it when they came out with Xbox, right? Was like they had Halo, and everybody wanted to play Halo at the time, right? And I mean, Sony didn't have any like proper first-party games, but they had exclusives like Final Fantasy VII was coming there, and Metal Gear Solid, and what I mean, they had the exclusives, and Stadia doesn't have any exclusives. Like, I mean, they have Guilt, which by Tequila Works, which is that game made by the studio that did Rime, but like, nobody cares. I'm sorry, like Rime is such a very specific game. I mean, I know we all like it, but would we buy a console for that game? I doubt it, So they just didn't have anything to launch the system with, or whatever you're calling this thing.
Because
service.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, because it was a lot of ports that are just old. Like, people have already experienced these games, and instead of reaching out to indies, and instead of try to get some first party games of your own to get out, it just felt like when people saw it, the idea was there, but the execution wasn't. And because of the execution failing, people already made a decision, I don't need to do this, or I don't need to get this. If a lot of people just feel like you could have just, since you're Google, you already have a platform, just put the software there and let people go about it. You shouldn't have to have actual hardware console to go about playing these old games. Because I'm like, what's big about Assassin's Creed Odyssey? People have already experienced that game. Now, if you was getting a new Assassin's Creed that weren't coming to any consoles, then I think people would.
It's a great game, though.
I
love that game so much. I wish it was on Switch.
Well, honestly, I think that they would have been better off probably trying to come out around the time that these next generation consoles are coming out, and work on a portfolio, and work on like having exclusive games, and work on all these things before just launching it. Because even if you want to say it's in a beta, the problem is when you're in beta, you should still have some kind of thing to say that, hey, like, this is what you have to look forward to once we're out of beta. Like, this great game is going to be exclusive, and and during, while it's in beta, you can play like a beta version of this game that will be coming. Do something where you can actually put put something in that's tangible in people's hands and show them why you want to be on, why you want to have Stadia, and they just did not have anything that came remotely close to that.
Because even if they're focusing on the 4K and the 60, they had an idea for streaming and doing it with different streamers and everything, and that kind of connection, and they're not speaking nothing about that. They're not even marketing that. Like, how? I guess my question is, it's just like, how did they lose their way? I wondered if they lost their way after the beta test, or did they just lose their way due marketing? Like,
I think
the stuff that.
I think it's what's happening as the developers and stuff are finding it hard to get these games to do what Google Stadia was promising, as easily. Like, they can do it, but it's like, it seems like there was some issues with developers there in the beginning trying to get these ported over properly, because the whole thing is Google Stadia is promising like 4K at like 240 hertz or whatever, like 240 frames per second, or like they're promising that you will be able to play these games better than any high-end PC will be able to play. Like, that's what they were promising, and that was supposed to be their thing to pull people in, but they've been having trouble just getting it running at what a console would play it for in the beginning there. Now, a lot of that may have changed at this point. Like Corey said, I'm not really paying too much attention to what's going on with it either, just because I just never really was interested in it. But yeah, I think that's part of the issue is they promised all these things and they can't even barely get it to do what the consoles can do. Like, I think that's the issue. I think that's where they went wrong, is they were promising way too big of things and not maybe just going easy on that stuff, and saying that, hey, like wording it different, that, hey, this will be. I think they just weren't so forward about stuff. Like, they made these grand promises without really telling people that, hey, this isn't gonna probably be something we'll see in the first year being able to do, or whatever. There's just a lot of things that went wrong with the controllers, people getting the controller and they couldn't even play it wirelessly or whatever on certain stuff, to, like the whole YouTube stuff that they were promising. I think that's finally starting to roll out, some of that stuff, where you can pull up videos and you can click on it. It'll have the game, whatever's being played in a YouTube video. You can click on it and buy that game or whatever. I think some of that stuff I heard was finally starting to come out, but that's the thing, is they kind of let it fall apart, and then once people complained about it, then they acknowledged all that stuff when they should have got ahead of it, right off the bat, and said, these are what we're looking to do and we will achieve, but it's going to take some time, to really get it to that point. And which is why I think ultimately altogether, they just should not have launched, stayed in beta, let it be what it is.
Yeah.
And then once it gets to the point of what they were promising, then consider it a launch. I think people would have been easier on them if they would have did it that way, because
Or even do what Microsoft is doing with xCloud. Like, they're releasing the beta out country by country at certain times. And the more that they release it, then they get data back about it. They can see what needs to be fixed and work on. So when it's actually time for that to go live, everything has already been up to snuff. If there is still some snags, they could do an update patch and work towards it.
Yeah. Just like game testing and all that stuff, where they kind of release it slowly and because you don't want to overwhelm something either. Like, so yeah, there's just a lot of things that they don't live in that world of games, so they didn't really know what they were doing, it felt like.
And I think it is good that they're doing this free test at this time to get people more into their ecosystem.
Yeah.
Hopefully people who do give it a test, if they feel like this is something they can look forward to, give it a try. If not, I'd say don't clown it, but watch it carefully. Just let's see what Google and the team builds up for it. Because if they could reach what they marketed and what they said in the future, then I think Stadia may have a chance to be on the playing field of consoles and other PC software. So
I just wanted to say one last thing, and we kind of need them to do well and have some kind of competition with Microsoft's version, Xbox's version of that stuff, because we want there to be competition in that, especially if that's going to be the future. Like, we want competition in that area, so both sides, or whoever's in that playing field, is trying to improve and be better. Like, that's like with the consoles. I think this is going to be a great next gen, because I feel like both consoles are going to be pretty solid. So.
Well, we're going to get into our gaming get down. That was our news bits. Jesse, I'm going to start with you. What games have you been getting down to?
All right, so I got a list. I'm just going to kind of mention them. I'm not going to talk too much about some of them. I've been playing a bunch of games to get the Game Pass points and stuff like that towards getting gift cards or Xbox money or whatever you want to call it. And so, like, there was one for I had a thing for Halo where I just need to kill get 20 kills in multiplayer. And so I played a couple of games of was it the Fiesta whatever? I'm blanking on it. Forget what it's called, but the Fiesta mode in Halo 5 is a lot of fun. That's that one that we played, Corey, where you respawn with random weapons, and it's just a lot of fun. I started Prey just because that's going to be leaving Game Pass, and I just wanted to experience it and see if it's something I'd be interested in buying eventually, if I want to continue it. So far, like, it's got some really interesting and cool, like, ideas, and like the sound in that game is really good, like where you just kind of like hear like weird noises coming from all directions. And I don't know how it sounds without it on, but I do have Dolby Atmos on my Xbox One X. And so, like, it did seem like the directional sound stuff was like really good on that. But like overall, I'm not really a fan of it so far. Like, it does have some cool ideas and stuff, but it's not really pulling me in like the original Prey did. Which honestly, I would love a remake of that game or a remaster. I also played Nier. I played some more of that, and I'm really loving that game. I just love the different things and the different like camera views and ways that you're playing, like the mixture. It's like a mixture of all different kinds of game types all into one, and I'm enjoying it. I started up Ghost Recon Breakpoint, and this game does not really look that good. I was expecting it to look so much better than it does, especially in 4K and HDR and all that stuff that I have on my new setup, and I still feel like the Division, I think, still looks 100 times better.
Better.
Yeah.
There's the comparison video, what they did with the trailer to what the actual game is, and I'm just like, ooh, the difference.
Yeah. Honestly, like it looks worse. Like I would expected it to at least look as good as Far Cry 5 or whatever. Mm-hmm. You know, I was expecting it to at least look as good as that, as far as like the realism of like trees and things like that. And it doesn't quite even look as good as that, in my opinion. You know, I really haven't done much with it. I just wanted to start it up. I played some Gears 5 to unlock some points. I just needed to get one of the new achievements in that game, which there was someone on Twitter sent me an instant message and told me the easiest one that you can get of the new one. So I just did that really quick. And then I played some Warzone a little bit. The Resident Evil 3 remake,
which I still haven't installed yet. So forgive me.
I know a lot of people aren't really enjoying this game. I think it's not that bad. Like, it definitely isn't Resident Evil 2, but to be fair, no game will ever compare to Resident Evil 2 in my opinion.
Is that because like people are having like mixed reviews? Is it because they were like coming off of Resident Evil 2 and expecting like a similar kind of treatment to it? Because like I know Resident Evil 3 isn't exact, like the original stuff, like Resident Evil 3 isn't exactly looked at as like clearly as well as Resident Evil 2 was. Like they're like almost two separate games. Like they're two different types of games. So like I don't like it when people are like comparing 3 to 2 because they aren't the same game.
The thing about it is the original version, Nemesis and 2 were supposed to be running at the same time. So Jill, Leon, and Claire, all three of them are running through that game at the same time. That's supposed to be the idea with 2 and 3. And because this 3 remake, people feel like it's too short because there's not too many areas to go to. It doesn't feel big enough. It's just like you go to this one point, do what you need to do, go to this next point, do what you need to do, and then the game is over. They feel like it's really short. And then it was just like
game's fault. It's just a remake. Like, it's a remake, and I think that's probably why they added that multiplayer thing to it, because they knew like this game probably didn't warrant a full $60 package, so they're giving you this multiplayer thing for free, which is like, okay, people may or may not play it, but like, it's not Resident Evil 3's fault that it's a short game, right? They didn't
expect it to be that short. They thought it was going to be close to like 8 or 9 hours, because people were just like, I beat it within 6 hours, and it's just like,
a lot of people, that's where a lot of people are getting disappointed, is there's some story stuff that I believe they kind of took out. And like there's a big chunk of stuff just missing, like where they've kind of shortened the story quite a bit, it sounds like. And like the other thing that I'm hearing a complaint about that I honestly do agree with is like going from 2, the Nemesis character, and 2 to this one, it's almost like they went backwards. Like he's not really a dynamic, like, character that's always chasing you. He's more of a triggered cutscene type kind of thing, where he just kind of like marks the spot. So like they took him. Like, because he actually, what he did in the original 3 is better than what they're doing now, like how his character worked. And so that's why I think a lot of people are disappointed, is because they're like, okay, you had all this, this unique, amazing stuff that you did with that character in 2, and then you almost just completely threw it all out the window and just turned him back into triggered action sequence almost, and I do agree that I wish that they would have made it where he wasn't nearly as hard as he is to fend off, because he just can like jump from one end of the map to the other, like right in front of you, and just land in front of you. And it's insane like what he can do. It's crazy hard. Like,
and that's what a lot of people feel like, that the tension for that game is the nemesis and not everything else.
Yeah. The zombies and everything are just a hurdle, a small hurdle to get through to try to get away from this dude. Now, like on the other hand, I am liking that he isn't super easy to just knock off, like swat away like a fly and just move on. Like, I do like that tension. But I still think that there would have been a better balance of having it more of a character who isn't as predictable when you're going to run into him. Because there's just certain times where that it's most likely you're going to go to this area and he's going to come out. And I would have liked it if that was a little bit more procedurally generated. Like, you could play it over again like the original, and he may not always pop up in this place. He might pop up somewhere else, because the original, he wasn't always he wouldn't always pop up in the same place. Whereas this one, no matter how many times you play the game, it's always the same. So that I think that's one of the main complaints from people, and I do agree with it. Now, personally, I'm enjoying it more than I feel like some people are. But I'm also a big Resident Evil fan. So yeah, like, I do have my disappointments about it, but overall I think it does a good job of being different, and the action stuff, works well enough for me that I do enjoy it. I just think that they definitely could have improved upon that. I also played Journey to the Savage Planet. Now, I bought it like right before they announced that it's gonna be coming to Game Pass, but it was cheap. It was cheap. I think I got it for like $10 or $15.
Trust me, I have had that happen to me, Jesse.
Yeah, I did it. Well, you don't have Game Pass though, but
I did it. I did it with Kingdom Hearts. I did it with. There was like 3 or 4 games I did it with. That was God, come on, man. And like when Control, like when I think Phil Spencer said Control is coming to Game Pass like in November or something, and then they turned that around and said they didn't. Like, I had just bought Control like a week before he said that. I'm like, come on, really?
Yeah, and I'm enjoying that. I'm not firing it, but it's just a really fun. It's like a more fun version, like more kid-friendly version of like Outer Worlds or something like that. Like, that's what it kind of reminds me of, is almost as like our Outer Worlds mixed with like Slime Rancher. It's fun, it's just a fun game, and it's got really good humor. It's got like early Borderlands, early like Portal type kind of humor, or like that kind of stuff, and I'm enjoying it. And then the last thing, the game that I want to try to finish for my backlog stuff is the Hitman. I'm gonna try to finish the Hitman series, so I've been playing that, and that's pretty much it.
Nice.
Oh, we lost Ed.
Yeah, he's
I'm back.
His webcam's up. There he is. Hey.
Hi. Yes. Skype did it to me again. It just kicked me out for no apparent reason.
Because it's Skype. By the way, not that this is important for the podcast, but when we go to do the our meeting on Monday, we should try Zoom.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know if it's better or worse, but it seems like, I don't know.
I'll download it.
I don't even know what it is, so I know a lot of people are using it though. So, oh well.
Yes.
Yeah. Anyways.
Oh, but Jesse's that all you've been playing?
Yep.
Oh, Boss, what have you been playing? Getting down to.
Well, I've played a lot of weird things.
Oh, before you go on, Jesse, I apologize. I know you sent the message to me to talk to me. I was knocked out asleep.
About.
You had invited me to do a party talk with you, I think,
Oh,
and
okay.
and I was asleep that night.
Oh,
and I think
yeah, that isn't it?
what happened was, and Boss will get to. I think my system was off, but I had a game bar on my
Okay.
on it, and I guess it just showed that I showed you I was online. So I apologize. We shall talk, because yes, we had I had a good conversation with somebody yesterday, and I'll tell you a little bit later. Okay, Boss, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Fine, I don't want to know about your cool conversation with somebody else, Ed. You can only tell Jesse. So I've been playing a lot of The Witcher 3 on Switch.
Yes.
Every night my routine is to play probably the last week or so. I would play a half hour of Animal Crossing. I did get it, and I'm at the point where all the villagers have houses, and I have to collect 30 types of 30 of each type of wood. I forget what I have to do with it, but I think I have to build a store or something for one of the kids.
Turn it into Timmy, and he'll build
yeah. So
store. Yeah.
I play about a half hour to 45 minutes of that, and then I'll play an hour of The Witcher, and it's just such a nice change of pace each time. It's so nice. So those are kind of the two main games I've been playing. I like Animal Crossing. I don't know if I love it yet, but I also think I'm just not far enough in it to be into it. So I'm that's my thing. I'm just gonna play it for a little bit each day and try to get what I can out of it. And then The Witcher, though, man, that's a cool game. I wish it wouldn't have taken me 5 years to play it. But I mean, it coming to Switch is probably that turning point that made me just be like, okay, I'm gonna play it now. So it's really scratching the Assassin's Creed and Zelda itches. It's so fun, just trying to, and I'm playing it on easy, so I'm not really even getting a challenge out of it. But I was like, this game's so long, I'm never gonna beat it on any other difficulty, so I'm just gonna play it on easy. Dude, I'm doing level 10 and 11 quests at level 6 and just
Dang.
crushing them, because I'm not doing any of the side stuff. I'm just blowing through the story stuff.
Yeah.
Because the side stuff will be there after the story stuff is, most of it, I'm assuming. So I like it a lot. I just completed a quest where I'm still searching for Ciri, and I have a clue. I have one of the clues, so I'm moving on with that quest. There's three different maps you have to go to, because it's kind of each it's got there's no hub world, but there's probably 6 or 7 locations that have their own map, and you have to warp to these sections. It's a thing. It's not one continuous open world, which is kind of a bummer, but at the same time, you just kind of have to go with it. So I've been playing that. It's really cool. I got this oil where I put it on my sword, and then my sword lights on fire, or causes fire damage. It's cool. It's cool. So I've been playing that. I've been playing a little bit of Pocket Mini Golf, because it was 99 cents on the eShops, and I'm like, I like mini golf. It's not the greatest mini golf game. Really, it's just not. So I would say, please don't buy it. It's okay. For 99 cents, it's fine. So I played about 10 holes of it. It's fine. I might not play it anymore. I've also been playing Good Job. I played the first level of Good Job.
I just bought it today, and I'm excited to play it tonight.
Dude, it's so funny. The physics humor that happens in that game is just hilarious. There's this one part where you have to plug the internet in from one room to the other, and you take the cord and you just have to wrap it around, and when you wrap it around everybody, it just shoves everybody up against the wall and breaks walls, and it's really funny. If you're looking for a good puzzle game, Good Job is it. So I'm
so excited to play it.
Yeah. I also played a little bit of Cars 3, Driven to Win, which is a game based on the Pixar movie franchise, and it was $10, and I'm like, that's interesting. Let's check it out. And it kind of reminds me a little bit of Diddy Kong Racing a little bit, where it's kind of like a it actually probably more like Forza Horizon, actually, in terms of like what to expect. It's kind of like this semi-open world, and then you just roll up and take on quests and race missions and stuff and just do it. It's okay. I've only played 2 races, but it's cool. Like, it's cool to see a racing game add like a jump mechanic to it. I mean, I know Mario Kart kind of has a little jump to it to start your drifts, but this is like an actual jump. So it's cool. It's if you have kids, it's probably good enough to play with them. Like, it's no Mario Kart, but it's fun. So that's kind of really all I've been playing. Nothing too exciting to talk about. Nothing new, at least besides Animal Crossing. But everybody's been talking about Animal Crossing, so I want to get to the end game where I can like make my own town instead of like doing the tasks. Just like, I feel like I'm making these buildings just to make them, and then I don't know if you can like demolish buildings and rebuild them later, but or if you can just like move the buildings. But yeah, I'm just kind of doing that. So that's kind of it, though. I played some NBA 2K20 also, but nobody cares about sports on this podcast. So
did you get your free in-game stuff? Perks
for what?
For Game Pass.
Oh no, I was playing on Switch.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because the NBA 2K20 is on Game Pass, and you get like a whole bunch of in-game perks. And
yeah, I downloaded it on Game Pass because it was on sale on Switch, and I got it, and then I turned on my Xbox and realized it was on Game Pass, and then I felt like that was a waste. But it's all right. Switch version's pretty good.
What about your Disney Blitz?
Oh, yeah, been playing Disney Emoji Blitz on my phone still. It's fine. I'm angry at it, so it keeps giving me duplicates. I need 4 more, and it keeps giving me duplicates. Stupid game, because it wants you to spend money. And I don't want to spend money. I just want to spin the wheel and get coins and buy emojis, and it won't let me do that. So I got one of the DuckTales characters though.
Nice.
But none of the good ones. It's the girl. It's the annoying little girl that runs around and annoys everybody. So yeah, that's my Disney Emoji Blitz update for the week. I'll update everybody else next week when I'm even angrier at the game, and then I probably just get super angry. Yeah. So.
Well, going off a Switch, played a little bit more 3000 Duel. Started up Breath of the Wild after playing a little bit of Animal Crossing, and yeah, I have to play it on my new TV now because it looks beautiful. It runs a little bit faster. I really cannot wait to play this game and just go through everything to be like, I did this again. I was able to fight the boss. I was able to get through this, and I all did it in fake 4K, so scale. So I really cannot wait to dive into. I really want to do Bayonetta and Astral Chain. I want to see how it looks on my TV. Play some more Yakuza Kiwami. Get into that, progress into that story. Actually started up Shadow of the Tomb Raider on my PlayStation 4 with my TV.
Yay.
Looks really, really good. And I'm playing it like I said. I'm playing on the regular PlayStation 4, not a Pro or anything. I probably am gonna switch it to my Slim and see how that one works too. How that one looks. But really, really can't wait to really jump into that and play that. Finished Control on Xbox One. Surprisingly, I did not delete the game. It's still on my system. So there are some side missions and stuff for me to go through and get some things. I really like how, and I don't want to spoil anything, but I really did like how at one point they trick you with the credits, and I will leave it at that. But I really did enjoy it. Like I said, it was hindered by some technical problems. I feel like still Corona Break was better, but Control is a great game. It's a really good game. I don't think it's still Game of the Year nomination worthy, but if
I think he froze.
Yeah, can you hear me all right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I've heard you this whole time. Kind of. Yeah, why is your mic not working?
Yeah, well, my mic cord is like broke, so it's like it's super loose.
Isn't that fun?
But yeah.
Yeah. Microphones. Stupid.
Well, it's just this dumb cord. The way it goes into the thing, it's weird.
Yeah. So, well, until Ed comes back, what do you want to talk about, Jesse? You want to talk about anything interesting? Anything fun? Anything? How's I don't know.
I need to get back to. All I know is I need to get back to Animal Crossing because.
Sorry, everybody. Skype keeps kicking me out for no apparent reason. It kicked me out again. If you happen to get Control on a sale, it's worth the sale price, I think. I started up Ori 2 with the Wisp, been putting a lot of time in there. I was telling Jesse and Corey that I've been having audio issues, so some of the music has been warping. But it's a beautiful game. I died here and there, and they're mostly during like the big chases and everything. But it's not a bad game. It's really gorgeous. They really go for the emotional gut punch. I haven't cried at anything about it. I'm just like, oh, the story is progressing. Oh, okay. It's sad. It's supposed to be sad. I see what they're getting. Let me play the next part. Move on.
I just want to play the game.
So I do like the story beats. I feel like this is way better than the first one. I will say that. But I am enjoying what I am playing and doing the side quests and stuff. Last but not least, played Gears 5 with my good friend Joey, aka Skyward Cats. We were talking about the SSD drive for Series X. We just had a really good conversation about that. And then we started playing Gears 5 on normal. He wanted to play it on hard. And then he was getting his tail whooped, and I was just
sounds like me and Jesse.
Yeah.
Well, he wasn't playing like the hard. He didn't want to do the hardest difficulty, but because he's never played 4 or anything, so there's going to be some.
Why would you play 5 before playing 4?
He only played the first Gears and never played 2 or 3. He said
that's fine. Why wouldn't you play 4 though?
I have not one idea. He has Game Pass. So it's there for him to play. And he's just like, I'll watch a recap. I'm like, no, there's a lot of stuff that's missing, and you need to play
even in that recap that they do at the beginning of the game, there's still a lot of story beats that are missing in that.
Yes. And that's what I told him.
I don't know. Like, my tomatoes.
Yeah.
Yes. So it looks really good in 4K. It really looks really looks good in detail. I think because I got some of my TV got some of the brightness, like so it don't look so dark or damp and stuff. I got it where it's bright. It looks kind of different with that brightness, but I'm like I said, because I think I'm so close to it, I can't really capture it what it looks like when I'm far away, because my TV is such a big TV. It's a widescreen, so it's just like I think I need to stay a little bit far away.
I hope you're getting a widescreen in 2020, Ed.
Well, I'm just saying, like, I don't know if all TVs now are just widescreen, or if they
everything's kind of switched to widescreen.
To widescreen.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, videos or movies and everything is shot in widescreen and all that. Now, I mean, it always was, but then they just would change it up to make it fit the smaller TVs.
Yeah, because like some DVDs they used to do the widescreen edition and then the full screen edition.
Yeah,
Which
yeah.
I think
But
some DVD
that was-
DVDs still do that.
Well, yeah, that is true.
Which is awful. Why would you do that? Anyways.
Yeah, some people have a preference once again. But we're gonna probably run through a little bit more of Gears 5. We were having fun. I had to wait for him to do the tutorial thing, so he did the tutorial. And the funny enough is he was at 67% of the game installing, so we were really pretty much only able to play like the first part. And so he had to wait for the rest of the game to download. So it should be on his system now, and we're gonna tackle that. But we had a really good conversation. We was having fun doing Gears. So I think I'm going to play with him more so I can get the achievements for the co-op stuff. Other than that, yeah, that's what I've been playing. I haven't started Okami HD yet. I want to see how that looks on my TV too. But everybody, that is what we have been getting down to. That is actually going to be our show. Sorry for the sorry about that. Sorry for the technical hiccups for this episode. But when we get back, hopefully we might be recording through Zoom. Hopefully we have less problems. Did we have any questions or anything, Corey, in the chat or anything?
No, not this week. Probably save some of that for next week, though. So
Okay.
yeah.
So hopefully everybody's having a great time with Final Fantasy VII. I know that was a big major release this week. Anything else, you guys? Corey, what would you like to plug?
What would I like to plug? I don't know. Nintendo Power Block, I guess. We're doing a giveaway on Nintendo Power Block. You can head on over there for details. So we just gave away Animal Crossing, and we have another giveaway coming up on episode 195 in a few weeks. So yeah.
Yeah. Jesse, what would you like to plug?
Let's see. I don't know. I'll just plug myself. You can find me anywhere at Phantom NXS.
Yes, and check out our Arsenal X podcast.
Yes.
Yeah, because there's a lot of stuff that happened during Inside Xbox that was really, really good. And the thing that you said, Jesse, was very interesting about a certain game coming to a certain system. I started thinking about that, but we will discuss that next time. And you guys can find me on Twitter at ThatRetroCode and check out Optional Opinion on SoundCloud and other podcast apps. Check out Pod and Play, Arsenal X, more of Boss Rush, and then some new shows that will be coming, like 1v1. Hopefully you guys have been enjoying that. We're going to be trying to get more episodes of that later on. Since pretty much people have been quarantined, we're going to try to get more of that, and we're going to try to be doing some more projects. So with that, everybody, have a great week, have a great weekend, have a great Passover and Easter. Hopefully by the time you guys seen this, you survived through it all, and you got to spend time with family online, and have your Cedar online, and everything. So with that, everybody, we will see you next time on Boss Rush Podcast. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Goodbye.